Hello, children. You know, music is an art form and cultural activity whose medium is sound. Music is an important part in our life as it is a way of expressing our feelings as well as emotions. And it is celebrated universally. It also gives us relief and allows us to reduce the stress. From the beginning, music has played an important role in bringing people close to each other. In this chapter, we're going to know about two musicians. The first is about Evelyn Glennie, a percussionist from Scotland. In life, disability for most, becomes an hindrance in the path of success. And many break down or fail over here. What do you mean by this disability? Disability is any condition that makes it more difficult for a person to do certain activities or interact with the world around them. But this lady, Evelyn, was not like others, Her story was very different. So let's read the story and try to discover it. Are you ready? Yeah. The Sound of Music. And this is the second chapter in your Beehive book. There are two parts in this story I told you before. And the first part is about Evelyn Glennie. See, the very title over here says that Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Don't you think, children, the title itself is very interesting? See, how is this possible? How can somebody listen to music or sound without hearing it? So, do you want to discover? Yes, come on. Now, as we read this chapter written by Deborah Cowley, and she has written this beautiful lesson, and we're going to see how this physical disability made Evelyn Glennie a successful lady. Okay? So, I'm going to read paragraph by paragraph and I will be explaining it to you. Okay? Yes, let's go on to the rush hour. Crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. A slight girl, looking younger than her 17 years, was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London and daunting enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. But this aspiring musician faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. Yes. Now this is the scene of a train platform, It is underground and there are a large number of people. Jostle means they push roughly and there's a crowd, there's a big crowd at the platform. People are pushing each other to make their way. So there is a small thin girl and you know what her name is? She is Evelyn. Evelyn is standing at the railway platform waiting for the train. And just as she feels the vibrations, of the approaching train, she realizes that the train is about to come. So as soon as she feels that the train is getting closer to her, she gets a little bit nervous and she gets excited. And this is the train that will take Evelyn, to London. She is going to London to learn music. She has got admission in the Royal Academy of Music. But now where is Evelyn? Evelyn is actually in Scotland. She belongs to Scotland, and this Scotland is a country in Europe. Life in Scotland, is not as fast, not a city life as in London. This is a rural area, like a village. Scotland is a countryside, you can say. So it is a very rural area. But London has a very fast life. It is an urban area. Urban means what? City life. Okay. So from the farm, that is Scotland farm, she is going to where? She is going to London. So that is why Evelyn is very nervous, because from a village to a city, moving from here to there makes people a bit nervous, isn't it? So she is leaving to Scotland for London, and so she was very excited. And also because she may be excited because she is doing something that she was dreaming of. She has dreamt something. What is that? To learn music. And so she is going where? So she is very excited, and she is going to the Royal Academy of Music to learn music. Okay. Jostle means push roughly. Slight means small and thin. Daunting means very frightening. A teenager is a person who is in his or her teens, around 13, 14, so that is teenager. Okay, from 13 to 19 they are called as teenagers. And aspiring musician means a person who wants to be a musician. And who wants to be a musician here? Yes, Evelyn Glennie. Profoundly deaf means absolutely, totally deaf. She cannot hear at all. That's why she was a bit nervous, we saw, isn't it? But Evelyn could not hear, but she's been admitted in the Royal Academy of Music. This was not a big challenge for her. This fast life, this moving from a village life to a city life was not a big challenge for her, But Evelyn faced a much bigger challenge, and that was what? That was her inability to hear. So what was her disability? That she could not hear. She was absolutely deaf, children. So this was the biggest challenge that she had to face. Okay, let's see to the next paragraph. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. They called her name and she didn't move. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated, and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired as a result of gradual nerve damage. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. Yes. So slowly, gradually means slowly. Slowly she started to lose the power of hearing, and then she became very deaf. And this Isabel Glennie is Evelyn's mother. Evelyn's mother, Isabel, recollects one incident, She says when Evelyn was 8 years old, she says that Evelyn was waiting for her turn to play the piano. But when she called her name, when she was called, she did not respond. And her mother realized that Evelyn did not respond to her name, That means she did not hear, isn't it? When somebody calls out. Conceal. Conceal means to hide. So as Evelyn lost her sense of hearing gradually, that is little by little, in the beginning when she could hear a little partially means little bit she could hear, she managed to hide this disability from her friends and teachers. That is what is conceal. Conceal means she tried to hide that she's got this problem. But when Evelyn was 11 years old, her marks started to deteriorate. Deteriorate means it started to reduce. So the headmistress requested her parents to take Evelyn to the doctor. So anyway, anybody for that matter at school, what they do, if you have a problem, the teacher or the headmistress or the principal will call your parents and let them know what your problem is, isn't it? So the same thing happened to Evelyn too. So when the doctor checked Evelyn, he found out that Evelyn had lost the sense of hearing. So the doctor advised Evelyn's parents that they should get hearing aids for her. You know, that is the equipment that is fitted to your ears, and it helps a person to hear to some extent, not actually everything, but at least to some extent they can hear. So hearing aids, that's what the doctor said. You can give her the hearing aids. He also suggested that Evelyn should be sent to a school for the deaf, isn't it? Yes, so deaf and dumb, there's a school actually. So he suggested her parents to send her there. So when Evelyn discovered that she could not hear and that she could be sent to a school for deaf children, you know, she was not very normal, and her world became blind. Her world became black. It turned black. She felt really bad. She wanted to be like the other normal children. Now, what does this mean? Everything suddenly looked black means, it means that all of a sudden you get such bad news, you know, you don't expect such bad news. Everything turns dumb and everything turns black. So that is what happened to Evelyn when this shock was given to her. Okay, children? Okay, let's go to the next paragraph. But Evelyn was not going to give up. This shows that Evelyn had very good determination. Although, it was a shocking news, still, she was very determined and she didn't want to give up. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. Pursue means to follow. So because she was very passionate about music, passionate means she loved music. And this news, did not break her or did not fail her. She was determined to live a normal life like the other people and just follow her interest in music. So one day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play too. So xylophone is a musical instrument, with a row of wooden bars of different size, different lengths, different sizes. So when Evelyn saw a girl playing the xylophone, she wanted to play it too. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. Percussionist means a person who plays the drum, the tabla, etc. A person who plays different musical instruments. Potential means quality or ability that can be developed. Now, one hand or one help, that is Evelyn's teacher. All the other teachers actually discouraged her. But one helping hand, that is Ron Forbes. He saw that Evelyn was very passionate about music. So what did he do? He decided something. So let's see what he tried to do. He began by tuning two large drums to different notes, it seems. He's trying something new on Evelyn. What Ron Forbes thought that he would teach Evelyn to feel music, not to hear music, but to feel music. So what did he do? He took two large drums, you've seen the drums, right? And he tuned them to different notes. And drums are, the musical instrument that we play with the two sticks, isn't it? So he tuned both to different notes. So the sound produced by the drums was different. Both the drums made different sounds. Then he told Evelyn, don't listen through your ears, he would say. Try to sense it some other way. He always uses this. He used to say this to Evelyn, it seems. He said that don't listen through your ears. You leave your ears now. Try in a different sense. Try to feel the music some other way. Says Evelyn, suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from the waist down. So that's what Evelyn says. She never looked back from that point onwards, She overcame that hurdle. Overcame means she tried to come up. She just didn't think, she never thought that she was deaf. So she overcame that. She won the battle. And she started sensing the different sounds through different parts of her body. And she tried to progress. Progress means she tried to come up in her career. So she toured to United Kingdom with a youth orchestra. And by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. So she was a youth that time. Youth means she was 16 years old, a young lady. And an orchestra, that is a group of musicians, with them. Where did she go to? She went to United Kingdom. And she decided to make music her life. So she went there. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. Auditioned means gave a short performance so that the director could decide whether she is good enough or not. Okay. So she gave an audition for the admission to the Royal Academy of Music. Now she has to go into the music school, isn't it? So before that they give an audition. You know what audition is? Even for the singing competition that has been relayed on the TV, you must have seen. So they first have the audition session. So that's how she was also taken, or she also gave an audition for the admission to the Royal Academy of Music. And you know what her score was? It was the highest in the history of the Academy, it seems. No other person had scored such a high score as Evelyn did. That was great. She gradually moved from the orchestral work to solo performances. See, all these days, no, she was with a group, with the orchestra, that is a group of musicians. Now what she did, slowly, gradually, she moves from the orchestral work to the solo performance. Solo performance means doing all alone. So she became very confident. She started performing alone. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. So this was a 3-year course, I think, in the Royal Academy. So there, these 3 years of her journey in that college, what has she done? She has captured the most of the top awards. That's great, right? So she has achieved all the top awards by the time she had completed 3 years. So it's really a great thing that Evelyn did. It's all because of her hard work and determination. Okay. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. See, if anyone says that Evelyn has done something great, she does not acknowledge that. She does not take up that. She was very humble, she was a down to earth person. Very humble she was. If you hard work and know where you are going, you'll get there. See, that's what she used to say, it seems. If you work hard and know where you are going, you'll get there, it seems. Evelyn says that 2 important things for success. First is hard work and second is aim. So, if you hard work, you will have your aim. A target which you have to achieve, then you will definitely achieve it. So, you just look at the target and you keep moving. And for that, what is required? Hard work is required, she says. And as she got right to the top, the world's most sought after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. See, most sought after. She was most sought after. That's really great. She became very popular. And also, she was in demand. Many people started to what? Hiring her, calling her to different places in the world. So, Evelyn also achieved her goal. She worked hard. She had an aim to become the topmost and she became famous now. So many musicians started to call her everywhere. She gained mastery of almost 1,000 musical instruments, it seems. See, she became a master of almost 1,000. Oh, that's awesome. And she is the most popular multi-percussionist of the world. Multi-percussionist. So different instruments she used to play. That's why she is multi-percussionist. And she became very busy. Her schedule was very busy schedule she had. And she had programs and concerts all over the world. So she started to travel and she became very, very what? Very, very busy. Okay. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. Intriguing means very fascinating. When you watch Evelyn work or when she's performing, so effortlessly, so easily she does it. She cannot hear, but still her playing, that is her performance, is so beautiful that people used to become so curious. Even the slightest sound made by her was so interesting. So in a 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. Now the writer, Deborah, she took Evelyn's interview and that lasted for around 2 hours. It went on for 2 hours. And Deborah says that Evelyn never missed a single word that she spoke. Men with bushy beards give me trouble, and she started to laugh. Evelyn says that, because men with long and huge bushy beards, they give her trouble. She always listens, or she sees the lip movement, isn't it? And only then she can respond. So she understands with the lip movement and she responds to it. But when people have bushy beard means what? Nalla periya daadiya irundha, she cannot see their lips, isn't it? So they trouble her a lot, she says. It is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. So Evelyn says that she does not only see the lip movement of the person's face, to make out what the person is speaking. She sees the whole face, it seems. That means the full expression of the speaker. Evelyn only then identifies or she knows what the person is trying to say. So she adds the expression of the eyes that helps Evelyn make out what the other person sitting in front of her is trying to tell her. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. Flawlessly means without any fault or mistake. Lilt means it's a way of speaking, that is the accent that style, that is the lilt. So she's got a beautiful Scottish lilt. She's from Scotland, isn't it? So she has that accent and she speaks beautifully. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says. See, she could speak. Mostly people who are deaf cannot speak, they say. It is actually paired like this, deaf and dumb, speech and hearing. So that's how they call them. But she was not dumb. Dumb means she could speak. She only was deaf. She says because she could hear till she was 11 years old. So her speech was very, very clear. And she learned so many languages also. She studied till the age of 11. And till that time she could hear, she says. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. She learnt, her mother tongue is Scottish, so she knows the language. But after becoming deaf, she also learned 2 new languages, it seems. And that is not told, that is not explained. She has learnt French and basic Japanese also. So it is a wonder that how she can learn these 2 new languages despite her deafness. Though she was deaf, that is a mystery. We do not know and it is not explained. But she has learnt 2 different languages, that is French and Japanese. Okay, so that's what she says. So, okay, let's see to the next paragraph. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. Tingles means causes a slight prickling thing, like a feeling, a sensation. So here she explains that how she identifies or she feels that music. It creates sensation in her skin, it seems. Her cheekbones feels the sensation. Her hair also feels that. So every part of Evelyn's body responds to what? To music. When she plays the xylophone, she explains how she feels that sensation. So when she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick through her fingertips. So she has that stick in her hands. So her fingertips, that vibration she feels and she plays. So she uses the stick. That's what she says. And by leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. See, resonances means the echoes of sound. When she plays the drums, she leans on it. She lies on it, you can say. She puts it near her body and she feels that echo flowing in her body. And on a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. So whenever Evelyn performs, whenever she performs a concert, whenever she plays the instrument, she performs on a wooden platform. She removes her shoes so that she feels that vibration of the musical instruments. And that will pass through the floor, it seems, that is the wooden floor, into her feet and up her legs. That is how she feels the sound of musical instruments. She is a great lady, right? Yes, let's see what happens next. Yeah. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Now, she is a great delight, to hear. People feel really happy. Her performances are so awesome. And she gives very good solo performances, And in the year 1991, she was presented with this award. She gets this award, that is Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. And she she always performed solo performances only, isn't it? Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully, he says. See, James Blades commends he's giving a good comment. He is a master percussionist, and in his words, he says that God has taken Evelyn's hearing ability, but in return, what he has given? He has given her a very strong, a powerful sensing sound ability, which has enabled this lady to become a great musician. So in return, what has God given her, it seems? The power of sensing sounds through the different parts of her body. So that's what he says. Okay? Yes. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. Workaholic means a person who finds it very difficult to stop working. Because she is a very hard-working person, She cannot stop working. I've just got to work often harder than classical musicians, she says. So she just wants to travel along with the classical musicians because they are hard workers according to her. So she works very hard. But the rewards are enormous. Enormous means big. Evelyn says that the rewards she gets back for her hard work is very huge, very big. Apart from the regular concerts, she goes to different countries for concerts. Apart from that, Evelyn also gives concerts in prisons and hospitals. See, she is doing a service also. She's really great. So Evelyn does charity work also. She gives free concerts where? In the hospitals and in prisons. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. So she wants to teach the young musicians, aspiring musicians, those who want to come up, those who want to really learn music, she gives more priority. Priority means more important. First preference for them. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says, she is a shining inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. So Evelyn is an inspiration, yes, for all. She is a great person, an idol, an ideal person. Anne Richlin, who belongs to the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children, says that Evelyn is an inspiration for those children who cannot hear. And when they get to know Evelyn's story, they feel that they can accomplish everything. They can fulfill all their dreams. They become really, they become really enthusiastic. They are so inspired by Evelyn. Okay. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. Accomplished means she has achieved so much in her life. That is more than the people who are double her age, has not achieved so many things. But she has become so popular and she has won so many awards. Okay. She has bought percussion to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. So, orchestra is a group of people who are playing different musical instruments. You know, the group of musicians, you know, they play different musical instruments. And generally, you know, this percussion instruments like the drums and the xylophones are always placed at the back end. That is, they are given as the background in an orchestra. They are not given more of importance. They are placed at the side only. But you know, Evelyn performs solo and she has brought this instrument right in front. She gives special performances with these percussion instruments. Okay, the percussion instruments have come in front of the orchestra. Yes, so she has given that importance to the drums and the xylophones. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. Yeah. Evelyn's story is an inspiration to those people who are physically disabled, you know. All the physically disabled people who are who have this problem, the difficulty, the disability, you know. For them, she is an inspiration. Her story is an inspiration. They feel that when Evelyn can achieve her dreams, they even can do. And Evelyn has got a lot of pleasure. She has given, not got a lot of pleasure, she has given a lot of pleasure to her audience by playing such good music. So she's been an inspiration. Lovely music she's been playing, and her audience really love it, and it's a pleasure for them listening to music, isn't it, children? So I think the first part of the lesson, that is the sound of music, about Evelyn Gleaney, let me just let us just recall whatever we have done. You can watch any animated video on the YouTube and then enjoy, so that you can recall whatever has been learnt so far, children. Thank you very much.